But let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into some recent social media activity from Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. It's really captured attention, sparked quite a bit of discussion online. Our source material for this is, well, it's Meghan's original Instagram post, the video and photos, and also several articles that sort of dissect that content, give it some context, raise some, honestly, pretty interesting questions. So our mission today, we want to zero in on exactly what they shared, and then explore the conversation happening around it based on what our sources are saying, specifically how this very personal moment kind of fits into that bigger ongoing discussion about privacy that's, well, it's followed them for years now, right? So the core piece here is a video, something nobody had seen before, shared right on Meghan's Instagram. It shows her and Prince Harry dancing together in a hospital room. This was just before their daughter Lilibet was born, and they shared it on June 4th, which was Lily's 4th birthday, a way to celebrate. In the caption, Meghan explained a bit more. She said both kids were actually a week overdue. And after trying basically everything, spicy food, acupuncture, you name it, this dance was sort of their final fun attempt to get things moving. The video itself, you see Meghan in a black dress, Harry's in casual clothes. They're moving to that song, The Baby Mama Dance, right next to a hospital bed. It's quite a scene. And along with the video, there were photos too. One was a recent picture giving a pretty rare glimpse of Lily's face, plus some sweet throwbacks, like Harry holding Lily as a newborn. And another post specifically highlighted that bond between Harry and Lily, called her daddy's little girl and favorite adventurer. Really personal stuff.
Yeah, and what's really striking when you look across the sources is the context around the sharing and the reaction it got. Princess Lilibet, she was born June 4th, 2021, at Santa Barbara Cottage Hospital in California, which was significant, right? Because it made her the first senior royal baby born in the U.S. and the first of the late Queen's great-grandchildren born outside the U.K. Quite a historical footnote. But the articles, they really hone in on this apparent tension. You have them sharing this incredibly intimate, deeply personal moment dancing in a delivery room. And then you juxtapose that with their very public, very well-documented history of, well, emphasizing their need for privacy, especially for their kids. The sources definitely remind us of their past efforts to shield Archie and Lily from the public eye. They mention things like, remember, they didn't reveal Archie's birth location beforehand. That was all about maintaining privacy. So commentators, as reported in the sources, they reacted with, frankly, some surprise, pointing out what they saw as a kind of contradiction, maybe, between this share and the couple's stated stance on privacy. And they draw parallels to past moments where privacy and media intrusion were discussed. The Oprah interview, their Netflix show, Harry's book, it all gets brought back up.
That perceived contradiction, yeah, that's definitely a major thread running through all the commentary we look at. It's kind of the core debate. But what also struck me, reading through everything, is how Meghan specifically framed this share. It's positioned purely as a celebration, right? Celebrating the daughter's birthday, sharing a moment of family joy, and that detail about both kids being overdue, maybe not the central point, but it adds this layer of human connection. One source mentioned it's something relatable for a lot of parents, that whole waiting game at the end of pregnancy. So you've got this really intimate celebration moment being put out there publicly. Meghan highlights it with captions about how much they love Lily, that special bond she has with Harry. It feels like a peek behind the curtain, presented through this lens of just pure family happiness. But at the same time, it undeniably sparks this much broader debate about their whole approach to visibility versus privacy.
Right, which leads very naturally to the question the sources are grappling with. Why? Why share this video, this specific moment, right now? The speculation in the articles covers a few possibilities. One idea floated is that this public sharing, especially including a clear photo of Lily's face, might be sort of a response, maybe pushing back against some of the online chatter or even those, conspiracy theories that sometimes crop up. The sources also frame this as potentially part of a wider pattern, a pattern of selective sharing from Meghan and Harry. They point to other instances where the couple chose to share certain aspects of their lives or their ventures, but very much on their own terms. Like, remember Lily helping with the jam making in their Netflix show, or Meghan talking about motherhood on her podcast. It connects back to this larger theme, really, this ongoing challenge for anyone in the public eye. How do you navigate sharing personal moments when you share them, and how does that align with your desire for control over your own story and your stated boundaries around privacy? Especially when the scrutiny is just so intense, it's a constant balancing act.
So wrapping this up, what have we really unpacked today? We've taken a deep dive into the sharing of a super personal family moment, that hospital room dance celebrating a birthday. And we've examined how the sources frame this against the, well,
the complex backdrop of their public life, and those persistent questions that keep coming up about their approach to privacy.
And if we zoom out for a final thought, maybe connect this to the bigger picture, this deep dive into shared moments versus privacy, especially for public figures, it kind of leaves us with something to chew on, doesn't it? What does this type of selective sharing and how we all react to it tell us about our own, evolving ideas about boundaries and connection, especially now in this very digital age? What does it all mean for how we relate to public lives and our own private ones?